Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. In this video, we will be talking about multidimensional arrays and we will be talking about 2D array in details. So in my previous video, we talked about single dimensional array, and this single dimensional array basically comprises of an array in a single dimension only. That means it has either a row or a particular column. Now in multidimensional array, as we already discussed briefly, so this multidimensional array basically comprises of two different types of array. The first one we can call it as the 2D array, which we will be doing deeply in today's video, and the second one is the 3D array. So these multidimensional array, they are also known as array of arrays. So why they are known as array of arrays, we will talk about it, and we will also see how it is being represented. So if you are considering, let's say, a 2D array, so a 2D array can be represented in two ways, either in the form of a 2D array as a whole, which has both the rows and columns, and secondly it can also be represented as an array of array, where these two arrays are basically represented in another array which is having two different columns, and the first column is responsible for representing the first row, that is this one, and the second column is responsible for representing the second row. Okay, so this is again identified using index positions. We will talk about this again. Then if we are considering 3D arrays also, so 3D arrays again, they also can be considered in a particular array of arrays format, where initially you might consider two different columns which are again representing two different rows of a particular array, 2D array, and these arrays again has the capacity of representing another level of arrays within it. Okay, so this might have another row which might have three different columns, and the other array might have another array or another row within it which have two different columns respectively, or three different columns, as and how it is required. So this is how we can represent the same array into an array of arrays concept. Okay, now talking about the very first, or talking about the basic concepts related to array. So as in the single dimensional array, we saw that we have to declare, instantiate, as well as we have to initialize that array, and then finally we have to retrieve the values of that array. So we will talk about all of this, but in a 2D manner. So talking about the first point, which is the declaration. So how basically we can declare a 2D array. So talking about the single dimensional array, so we used to declare it using int followed by a square bracket and then the array reference variable. So 2D array is no different. We just have to add one more square bracket here and our array is declared. Now this is the standard form of declaration of a 2D array. Likewise, other forms of declaration of a 2D array is also available, and we will also discuss about this. So int use two square bracket followed by the array reference variable. This is also a valid representation. Again int followed by this, so this is also a valid representation. The third type of representation is this, which is also a valid representation, and the fourth type is this. Although all these four different type of representations are used, however, we should understand that this particular representation is the most widely used representation among all of them. So what does this most widely used representation represent? It says that A is basically a type of 2D int array. So A is a type of 2D int array. Okay, so there might be certain confusion when we are declaring a particular array, like we saw in the 1D array. When we are writing two different declarations, which is a comma b, so this means that here a is also a 1D array, b is also a 1D array. Now what if I am writing int a followed by a square bracket and then b? So here a is basically a 1D array, however b is not a array at all. It is a simple variable, simple int variable. Okay, int variable. So these two has differences in representation. So in 2D array also there are certain differences in representation. For example, let us consider the first type of representation. So int, if I'm using two square brackets followed by a comma b, here a and b both are 2D arrays. Okay, now if I'm considering int followed by a square bracket followed by a space, then maybe this, so it represents that a is basically a 2D array, however b is 1D array. Okay, so this is because a is associated with two different square brackets, however b is associated with just one, so b is a 1D array. Again, int followed by a square bracket and then comma b followed by another square bracket. So here also a and b both are 2D arrays. So we have to be very careful when we are representing it, because there should be no ambiguities. Again, int, if I am using this kind of representation, a comma b and then a bracket, so here basically a will be a 2D array, however b, since it is associated with three brackets, so it is a 3D array, right? Now one of the most important representation is if I am writing something like this, int followed by two square brackets and then followed by a comma this single bracket followed by b. So here basically if we are considering this, so a is a 2D array, however b is not, it will throw us a compile time error. Now why this compile time error is thrown here? Basically because we cannot define the size, or we cannot declare the size before the array reference variable in case of 2D arrays, if for the second variable. Okay, so if we are used for the second variable, we cannot use this kind of representation. For the first variable, of course we can do it, but for the second variable we will not be able to do it, and it will throw us a compile time error. Now talking about, so this is what is all about declaration. Now we have to instantiate it. That means we have to create an array object. So talking about the instantiation, so first we have to definitely declare a particular array, which is int. This is the standard notation of this. So int a followed by a is equal to new int, and let us say I want to define the size as this. Okay, so int a, so this is basically the declaration part, and followed by the creation of the array object. So what will this represent? Now the first bracket and the number or the size that we are defining, these are for the number of rows and the other one is for the number of columns, right? So this is for the number of rows and for the number of columns. So the array A basically has 2 rows and 3 columns. So 2 rows and 3 columns. So it will be represented something like this. So it has 2 rows and 3 columns. So these are 2 rows. So row 1 and row 2. And here we have column 1, column 2 and column 3. So now this can also be represented using an array concept, but first let us find out what are the index positions of each of the cells here. So here in row 1 it begins with the position as 0 0. Here it has 0 1. The other one, the last one, it has 0 2. The next one it will have 1 0, then it has 1 1, and this index position is finally be 1 2. Now this is almost equivalent to, not almost, it is exactly equivalent to the array representation where we are creating another array with the index positions as 0 and 1, and this 0 will be able to represent the first row which has 0 1 2, and this one will have 0 1 and 2 respectively. Now if you look into this particular, so this is basically the row 1 and this will be the row 2. So if we combine both of this, we basically get the initial matrix that we talked about. Now talking about this matrix that I already mentioned, so arrays, this 2D arrays can be of different types. The first one we will see is the matrix type. So we call a 2D array to be a matrix if the number of columns is same for each of the rows. That means in row 1 it has 3 columns, in row 2 also it has 3 columns. That is why it is known as matrix. And this matrix can be broken down into this particular array of array representation, and where each of the indexes will be referring or giving a reference to the row elements which are present there. So if we want to access the element which is there in 0 0, so this will be the position, this will be the position that we are referring about. That means the 0 and the first position is 0, the second position is 0 1, the third is the third one is 0 2, right? In the next row we have 1 0 1 1 and 1 2. So this is how we can represent the array concept. Now if we are talking about essentially if we are talking about matrix array, there is also a concept which is known as jagged array, and in this jagged array we do not have the same number of columns for each row. Okay, we do not have the same number of columns for each of the row. Now we will see this how actually a jagged array can be declared. So if we are considering a jagged array, so we saw how a matrix array could be declared, could be instantiated. That means I am declaring an array first here, and then I am creating an array object with the number of rows as 2 and the number of columns as 3. Okay, so this is how I am creating it. Okay, so once I am done with this, I will go ahead with initialization. So before we go into initialization, let us talk about the jagged array. So as we already mentioned, we saw this, that this is a matrix array. This is basically a matrix array or simply a matrix. Now talking about the jagged array, so we call an array to be a jagged array if the number of columns do not match, or if the number of columns are not same for each of the rows. Let us consider, suppose I have a array something like this. So the first row has 3 rows, the first row has 3 columns, the second row has 2 columns, and the third row has 3 columns respectively, right? So this is the condition of a jagged array. It can also have 4 columns. It is up to the user or the programmer how they can use it. Okay, and this is also represented using an array of array concept, where suppose I am using two different rows for it. The first one, which is capable of holding a row, first row, and the second one is also capable of holding the second row respectively. So we will talk about this in details in this video as well. So when we are initializing, we were talking about instantiating, that means creating a jagged array. So when we are creating a jagged array, essentially first we have to declare it. So I will use the same declaration, which is int a, okay, and then a is equal to new. Now the difference lies here, where I will simply use a 2 followed by a blank here. I will not mention the size of the column, and the size of the column will basically be initialized or instantiated later on. And how do we instantiate? How do we instantiate this? So we will be able to instantiate using the following. So the next one, we are going to instantiate a of 0 is equal to new int 3. Okay, so since we have already initialized that, instantiated or created the array object, the jagged array object or jagged array, using 2 rows. So let us consider these 2 rows initially. So let us consider these 2 rows. So these 2 rows would be there, and I do not know about the number of columns. So now a of 0, so this is the 0 1. Okay, so a of 0, I am creating another array, 1D array, which has three different indexes, or with the array length of 3. Okay, and the next one, I will be instantiating this with another array, which is new int, and let's say I am instantiating this with 2. Okay, so if I am using this with 2, that means I will write here as 2. So now array of the first column, so first row is basically creating a 1D array of 3 columns, and the second row is creating a 1D array of 2 columns, right? So this is the concept of jagged array and how we can actually instantiate or create a jagged array. As already mentioned, matrix array is basically that array which has the same number of columns for each of the rows. However, jagged array does not have the same number of columns for each of the rows. Okay, and now this is all about how we can declare an array and how we can instantiate it. We talked about jagged array, and we also talked about a matrix array, right? Now the next important point that we have to discuss is how we can go ahead with the initialization. So talking about initialization of a 2D array, so we will now be talking about initialization. So when we are talking about initialization, so first of all, we have to declare it int followed by 2 square brackets and a, and after that let us say a is equal to new int 2 3. So this array has 2 rows and 3 columns, and it is actually a matrix array. Okay, and then now let us represent this. Basically, let me draw it so that it becomes easier for us to understand. So there are 2 rows here and 3 different columns here. As already mentioned, the row positions are basically 0 0 0 1 0 2, then 1 0 1 1 and 1 2. Okay, so this can be represented in a array of array, where the resultant array is basically having 0 and 1 columns, and each of these positions are capable of representing 1 2 and 3, and here also it is capable of representing 3 different array elements. Okay, so and this is 0 1 and 2, this is also 0 1 and 2, right? So now let us consider this position. So when I am initializing it, that means I will write down a of 0 0 is equal to, let's say, 5. So 5 will be placed here. Then a of 0 1 is equal to 6. Again a of, let's say, 1 1 is equal to 10. So a of 1 1 is equal to 10. 0 1 was equal to 6. So this is 5, this is 6, and this is 10. So 5 6 and 10. Okay, so this is how we can initialize the values in the array. Now these two lines can be written in a single line, which is int followed by the square brackets a is equal to new int followed by the size, that means 2 3. So these two lines can be written in a single line using this particular statement. Again, all of this can be written in a single line if we want to initialize, declare, instantiate and initialize a 2D array. We can simply use a single line, which is int followed by the 2 square bracket is a is equal to, then I will simply write down the array elements, which is 5 6 7, then let's say 9 10 and 11. So if I want to cut short these many statements, I can simply write down only this statement in order to declare, instantiate and initialize a 2D array. This is like a shortcut. So if we can simply the numbers would be replaced here as 7 9 10 and 11 respectively. So we will now be initializing it all together. Okay, so this is very very important from the perspective that we need to initialize, or we need to associate array elements to the array that we have already created, and we can skip the number of lines here and then we can simply create it. Okay, now if you want to create a jagged array also, so it will follow the similar approach, where suppose I am creating an array with int followed by 2 square bracket is equal a is equal to, let's say my first row has 10 15 20, my second row has just 2 elements, let's say 10 and 15, and my third row has 4 elements, or let's say 3 elements again, 20 30 40. So in this case a jagged array would be created with which will have the values 10 15 20. So I will write it down, 10, 15 and 20, followed by just two elements here, which is 10 and 15, and followed by again three elements. Okay, so 20, 30 and 40. So now if you want to add one more element, I mean if there the first row can also have more than three elements, let's say I have 50, so 50 can be added here. So the first row will have four elements, the second row has two elements, and the third row has three elements, array elements respectively. Now if you want to represent this in a array of array concept, so here you will have, let's say, an array of arrays. So all these three arrays can be represented here, so 0, 1 and 2. So this one will be representing the first array, which has 1, 2, 3. So 10, 15, 20 and 50. The second one will be representing just two elements, which is 10 and 15, and the third one will be having three elements, which has 20, 30 and 40. Okay, so this is how we can go ahead with representation of the elements. So A will basically be representing the array of all the three 1D arrays. Okay, now how to, we have already talked about declaration, then we have to talked about instantiation or creation, and we have also talked about initialization of the 2D array. So 2D array both in terms of matrix as well as jagged arrays. Now how do, the final step is how do we retrieve the values. Okay, so the final step we will talk about is retrieving the values. Now if I'm having this array, so I'll just rub this off. Okay, now suppose, or what I'll do is I'll add it. So if I'm adding another here 40, okay, sorry, 50 was there. Okay, 50 is added here. So now if I want to print the values of A or print the array elements which are present in A, so what do you think should it be? How do you think we can retrieve the elements of this array? So for this, if I'm now printing, I want to print that system dot out dot println. Suppose now I want to print the values of A. So if I'm suppose I'm writing this and I want to print A, okay, the output that I will get here is basically two square brackets, which will represent that it is a 2D array, followed by the type of the array, which is integer, then an @ symbol, and followed by the array class of that particular array, which is represented in any hash value. This we will also see this with a particular program, so now we don't have to worry about this, but we just have to remember that we cannot print the or retrieve the elements using simply system.out.println and using the array reference variable, because it will compile correctly, no doubt, and it will also execute, but it will not return us with the expected outcome. Similarly, now if I want to print system.out.println A of 0, so if I'm trying to print this, so A of 0 would be printed. Now A of 0 again will give me a error. Why error? This will also give me a @ and followed by a hash value. So we will see this with a program, but you just have to remember as of now that A of 0, since it has a 1D array which is having 4 elements, okay, so that is why it will be returning me with a 1D array followed by the integer type and @ symbol as well as hash value. Okay, now suppose I am printing SOP and then A of 0 and then A of 0. So what is A of 0 and A of 0 0? So this is the A of 0 0 position, that and this is the A of 0 0, sorry, yes, this is the A of 0 0 position. So this will basically be printed, which is my output will be 10. Okay, now talking about the next one, which is if I am trying to print a of length. Okay, so a of length, a dot length. So what is the length of a? So a's length is basically, it will be returning me with 3, because this has 3 rows, or this particular as you can see, this array that I am considering as the array of arrays. So this is having 3 indexes in which 3 different arrays can be saved or can be uh, implemented. So here a array of a dot length will give me the output as 3. Now suppose I will write that SOP a of 0 dot length. So when I'm talking about a of 0, so a of 0 is basically this point, this position. Okay, so a of 0 is representing a 1D array of 4 array elements, hence the length will be 4. Okay, and finally if I am writing something like this, that SOP and then finally write a of 0 0, which is value 10. We have already seen this, a of 0 0 is value 10 dot length, then it will give me a error. It will throw me an error because a of 0 0 is 10. So 10 basically do not have any such length associated with it, so hence it will throw me an error. So if you look into this, this is basically how the print or how you can these are some of the exceptional cases when we are trying to retrieve the values of array. Okay, so and one more thing we have to remember is suppose we are using a jagged array also. I mean, we already saw this in this particular jagged array, similar conditions will arise. So we have to go for a different way of representation, which is by using loops. We have also used loops in our 1D arrays, so we will also use loops in order to do that. So let us see how we can use loops here. Okay, so we will use the same example for through which we can retrieve the value. So I'll just rub this off. Okay, so this one will be rubbed off, and we will just see how we can use loops in order to retrieve the values of this particular array. Okay, so when we are trying to use loops, essentially there will be 2 for loops which will be used, since there are 2 different arrays here. Okay, so we will run one loop for I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length, and then I plus plus. After that we will use another for loop which says that for j is equal to 0, j less than a of I dot length, then j plus plus. Now we have to remember that the first for loop is which will be scanning the array uh, scanning the array in a row wise manner, and the second one will be, the second loop will be scanning the array in a column wise manner. So here what I'll do is I'll write system dot out dot println followed by what I need to print, which is a of I and j, and if at all I need a space after each of the elements. Okay, and then let's say we will close this. Okay, now talking about this, so whenever I'm talking about this, okay, we will also add one more line here. Let's say system dot out dot println followed by another line. Okay, now if we look carefully into this loop, so first of all, I will be scanning in a row wise manner. So when I'm talking about I is equal to 0. So what is the length of A? So if we are talking about this, okay, so if we are talking about A here, right, so what is the length of A? So the length of A is equal to 3. So I is less than 3. Yes, 0 is less than 3. So now it will get inside this loop. Now J is equal to 0. Okay, then J is less than A of I dot length. That means A of 0 that dot length. So A of 0 is having this array. Okay, A of 0 is having this array. So what is the length of A of 0? Let's say A of 0, the length is 4. So 0 is less than 4. So it will print what? It will print basically A of 0 and 0. So A of 0, 0 is 10. So it will print the value 10. Okay, so the next one that we will be talking about is, so once this particular thing is printed, 10 is printed, J's value would be incremented and J will now be let me reduce the eraser. Okay, so I will be equal to 0, J will now be is equal to 1. So 1 is again less than 4. Yes, 1 is again less than 4. So now which one will be printed? A of 0 and A of 1. So A of 0, 1 is basically 15. Okay, then again J's value would be incremented and J will now become 2. 2 is again less than 4. So A of 0 and then 2. So A of 0, 2 is 20. And then J will again be incremented to 3. 3 is again less than 4. Okay, so A of 0 and 3, which is 50, would be printed. So one iteration we got, so in one iteration we got 10, 15, 20 and 50. So now when J's value is incremented next time, which becomes 4, now 4 is less than 4, so this condition will not be satisfied. So it will go outside of this particular loop and the loop will execute again by incrementing I. So I will now become 1. Okay, I will now become 1. J will again start from 0 and start comparing until it goes on printing all the values. So this is how basically we can retrieve the values from or retrieve the array elements from a 2D array. It might be either a jagged array or it might be a matrix array, but we have to make sure that we use two different loops in order to scan the array and retrieve the elements. We will also see this through a program, and this is all from the theoretical aspect of a 2D array. And we have talked about a lot of things. That 2D array, it is called as array of arrays, and it can be represented in an array which is capable of holding 1D arrays each. 3D array likewise is also capable of representing 1D arrays in each of their locations. And we will not be talking about we did not talk about 3D array much here. We will discuss it later. But 2D arrays, we have gone deeply through it, starting from the declaration, where there are 4 different ways of declaration. However, the standard form still remains similar to the 1D array, where is a type of a relationship is used. The second one is there is a difference between the various representations. We have to remember that we cannot define or we cannot declare the array size before the second variable of a 2D array. second variable, or if we are considering two different arrays, we cannot use the declaration of the size or declaration for the second variable in that particular representation. Okay, the next one is, we talked about how matrix, what is matrix array and what is jagged array, and how a matrix array can be represented using an array and of array concept. We also saw how jagged array can be declared, and then we also saw how the columns could be adjusted in a jagged array. And then we talked about initialization, and we also saw how we can initialize, declare and instantiate a particular jagged array or a matrix array is using just a single line. And the last part, we talked about how to retrieve the values. For retrieving the array elements, we have to use two different loops, two different for loops, one which will scan the array in a row wise manner and the other which will scan the array in a column wise manner. So this is all for this video. Thank you.